Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Linda. If you are just tuning in for the first time, you might definitely want to stick around and watch till the end. So on today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to draft a bodysuit pattern, which you are seeing right here on the screen. So if this sounds like what you're interested in, you might definitely want to hit that subscribe button and also tap on the notification bell so you get more interesting videos like this. Without further ado, let's just dive into the main video. So now here's my tools. I have my tools ready and I have my pattern paper. The first thing I'm going to be doing is to fold my pattern paper into two equal halves like so, to enable me to draft a pattern without any stitching allowance. After that, I drew a line for my shoulder line and I'll be labeling it as a shoulder. From there, the next thing I'll be doing is to go in at this point and draw out 3 inches for the width of my neckline. I'll be taking 3 inches like so, and I'll be taking 4 inches for the depth. You can choose to make it 3 inches by 3 inches standard or 4 inches by 4 inches. I choose to mark this. So next, I'm going to be connecting with my curved ruler. From there, I'm just going to be taking half of my shoulder measurement and I'll be marking it at 8 inches, and I'll be drawing a line to indicate it at this point. After which, I'll be going down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope at this point. Ahead and use my ruler to connect the line slantly. I'm just going to measure half of my armhole measurement like so, and I'll be getting 8 inches for that, and also I'll mark it at this point. Next, I'm just going to use my ruler to connect a straight line to indicate that, and from there I'll be marking another horizontal line like so for the chest line. You can also call it bust line, and that will be the first horizontal measurement I'll be taking. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to go and get the waistline. I'll be starting from the tip of the shoulder and I'll be getting my waistline, which is 17 inches. And I'll be using my ruler to connect that as well. So this is going to serve as my waistline. And next thing I'll do now is to start from the waistline and I'll get my crotch depth. So my crotch depth is 12.5 inches and I'll be marking that like so that I could be able to get a straight line. And next I'll just go ahead and use my ruler still to connect it horizontally. And that will serve as my crotch line. Now after I'm done with that, I'll go down 1 inch like so from the crotch line. I'll be marking 1 inch like so, and I'll be coming back to that later. So the next thing I did was to go to the waistline. I marked from the waistline, I marked 6 inches at this point. You can choose to mark 4 inches or 5 inches depending on the height. So I'm marking 6 inches. This is going to help me to determine the curve of the bodysuit. So I just want to use this as a guide for the curve. So I'm taking 6 inches from the waistline and I'll be using this part, connecting downwards like so at this point. So after that, I went ahead at the 1 inch mark I gave. I also went in by 1.5. So I'll be elongating the line to get up to 1.5 inches like so. And the next thing I did was to take my horizontal measurements and I'll mark them. I'm going to start from the 6 inches line I marked. I'll be taking my hip line at that point. Because I'm going to be using a stretchy fabric for this illustration, I'll just go ahead and deduct 1 inch from my hip line. I'll be repeating the same thing on my waistline. So I'll be marking quarter of my waist measurement minus 1 inch, and I'll be marking it like so. And now I'll go over to the bust line and I'll mark quarter of my bust circumference, and I'll also go ahead and mark it. I also deducted 1 inch from there, and the next thing I will do is to connect the lines respectively. So I'll be using my straight ruler first of all to connect the lines from this part upwards, and then I'm going to be using my pant curve to connect the line for the lower body. After that, I went back to my armhole measurement, which I had marked the midpoint initially. I will be using my tape rule to get 0.5 inches inwards like so, and from there I'm just going to be using my straight ruler to connect the line. So I'm going to be using my straight ruler to make a straight line like so, and next I will use my French curve to complete the curve. And then we are done for the front armhole. Now I'll go back to this point at the 6 inches line I marked. I'll be placing my ruler like so, and I'll be drawing a dotted parallel line which is about 4 inches. You can also go ahead and mark 4 inches or 5 inches depending on your choice. So I'm just going to be using that line as a guide to connect this line like so, from this point to this point, and I'll be using my free hand first of all. Now I'm just going to follow the line with my French curve and connect it to make the lines bold for you guys to see. And I'll be flipping it the other way around to complete the rest of the curve. So you do this, you don't have to rush, just take your time and you'll get it perfectly. Now that I am done with the curve, I'm just going to be cutting the back upon this pattern as well. So I'll just go down at the crotch area like this by 4 inches. And I'll be maintaining the 1.5 inches line I did for the other one. I'll be marking it like so at this point as well. I am taking 4 inches because this is going to be a push button. So there will be push buttons on both sides, in which the back pattern will be fastened on the front pattern. So I'm just going to maintain the 1 inches and I'll be drawing it clear for you guys to see. Next, I'm just going to go at the middle point like so, where I marked the 4 inches, and I'll be going outwards like so by extra 2 inches, and then I'll be connecting the line from this part like so with my free hand down to this part, and from this part of the shoulder I'll go ahead and mark the back armhole curve, and also I'll go to the neckline and I'll be marking the back neckline by 1 inch. So I'll just place my tape like so, and I'll mark 1 inch for the back neckline, and I'll be using my French curve to connect it like so. So I'll just go ahead and mark this part. I'll just add a little curve for the back armhole. It's going to serve as my back armhole. I'll be drawing out the lines for you guys to see it clearly. Next, I'm just going to cut out the back first of all, following these initial lines. But before then, I'll go ahead and complete the curve for the back pattern. I'll also go ahead and smoothen out any bent parts to look straight, and that is our back pattern. So first of all, I'm going to be cutting out the back before cutting out the front. I'm just going ahead to indicate that this is the 2 inches and the 4 inches mark which I have stated earlier. This is very important. That is why I'm writing it down. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out and also cut out the front pattern. That is why I had to fold my paper, because I am cutting it at once. So after cutting it, I'll just go ahead and remove my back pattern. Then I'll cut my front pattern and trim out the excesses at the front. If you are yet to subscribe, kindly do so by hitting the subscribe button and also tap on the notification bell.
Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets.
After I am done cutting out the back, I'll just go ahead and slash this open to have two patterns. I'll be removing the front from the back.
Never give up, never slow till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you...
I'll be labeling this as the back pattern. Now it's time to cut out the front. I'll be cutting out the neckline first of all, and I'll be trimming out the armhole. So guys, that is basically all for our bodysuit pattern. We have the back pattern ready, and also this is the front. And this is how it came out looking like. We're just going to be using it to cut out our stretchy fabric in our next video. And this is me indicating that this place is actually on fold, this part. So if you enjoyed this video, kindly give me a thumbs up and also tell me what you think in the comment box. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap on the notification bell. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.